Good afternoon. This is Troy Moldy with the Pride Group, and I'm here with Jeremy Peterson, and we are doing our outreach for the month of December 2015, where we take questions from people and then do a short tutorial on answering their questions. And today's topic is going to be 203B with escrow repair. This is one of the links that I'll be using today, and if you need to get a hold of either of us, here's our email. So let's get started. 203B with escrow. Here's a property that I've identified, and I'm going to pause for a quick second and just reiterate that today the only thing that I am talking about is FHA 203B with escrow. It's not applicable for any other program. This is a specific program that's used quite frequently on HUD-owned property. So again, I'm only talking about HUD-owned property. 203B, FHA 203B with escrow repair for HUD-owned properties. So I have a buyer that wants to buy this house, and I come over on HUDhomestore.com and I locate this property, and I see that the financing available for FHA is insured escrow. So now I'm going to see, well, what's going on with this property that it needs an escrow repair, and I'm going to pull up the disclosure addendum. And it shows here that the repair damaged plumbing and the roof is worn on the garage. It's important to note here that the water will not be activated for inspection per the HUD field service manager, who's in charge of protecting and preserving the property. At no time ever before closing will you ever get the water turned on. So any kind of conversation that you have with the lender where they're saying, well, you got to have the water turned on, is the wrong conversation. I would direct that lender to the listing agent to help you understand more about how this 203B with escrow repair works. I also like to double check the property condition report, PCR, that's what that stands for. And I just go through. It also reiterates here, did not hold pressure, slow leak. It appears to be bad valves to toilets, slow leak faucets. While this report is being composed, the field service manager, a lot of this is done on a visual inspection, so make sure that you get your inspections done, because a visual inspection is not a very detailed inspection. Okay, so how does this work if we can't get the water turned on? And I know that FHA requires that water and heat and some of those basics to be turned on. They actually call it a minimum property standards, or MPS. So how do we proceed forward with the transaction when a property doesn't meet the minimal property standards? Well, this is what this program does in a nutshell. Max repairs are $5,000. The actual repair amount is established at 110% of the estimated repair costs. Thus, for a property with a repair amount at a maximum of $5,000, the escrow would be $5,500. So the way that you're going to arrive at what something costs is you're going to get a qualified contractor out there. So for the property that we're talking about, we know that the plumbing doesn't hold pressure. So just stepping back on the flow of how this transaction would go, I submit my bid, my bid's accepted, I'm filling out my paperwork, and on my paperwork in the escrow repair, I'm going to put to be determined, because I don't know what the amounts of the costs are going to be yet. Once the asset manager has signed and ratified the contract and it comes back, I'm now going to go out there with a plumber, and I'm going to have a plumber give me a bid on what it's going to cost to get that property up and running. It has to be somebody who's qualified. I'm going to turn that bid in over to my lender, and that's what's going to establish the escrow repair. So anything that an appraiser calls out that does not meet the minimal property standards, you can have escrowed with this program. If the escrow's amounts exceed this program, then this program will no longer work, and you'll have to go to like a 203K or some type of a rehab or other alternative financing. So this is just for anything that an appraiser would call that's in the minimum property standards. It's not cosmetics. It's just going to be anything that they deem could be a hazard, maybe a deck railing or something like that. And again, these bids are going to be determined by a qualified contractor or contractors depending on what's called out. HUD will charge $200 to $250 to use this program. And then after closing, generally you'll have about 90 days from closing to complete those repairs. It's a great program. Again, it's only for HUD owned properties, but it allows buyers to move forward with FHA financing on properties that otherwise wouldn't meet the minimum property standards. So that is it for this week. I'll put my contact back up here. If you guys have any questions about this program, want a mortgagee letter emailed to you, reach out to me and or Jeremy, and we'll gladly send that over to you. This topic comes up all the time, so I hope you guys use it. It's a great program, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next month.